on, but we do have the ratings in from last night's championship game, and it is a big number.
Is it?
Yeah.
Paul, what would you think the number was?
At least, I mean, look, the Rose Bowl was $27 million or something like that, right? So I would say it's in that ballpark again. I mean, it's Michigan again, and
it's for the national title.
It's for the national title. There's no NFL on.
I think I would get this one wrong, but what is it?
Well, I mean, you're going
I'll say 26.
I'm going to say 24.
Okay, well, right in the middle. Average 25.05 million viewers across the whole family of ESPN networks. All have their various casts and everything else. I don't. Do you guys watch all of the other extra stuff?
No, I saw the calendar, or I get what they're doing, but I can't keep up with it just on the TV, cable. So trying to go to the other parts, no, I'm out on that.
Yeah, I mean, we all watch ESPN Deportes, and then no, I mean, but if you ask me like how many times I've watched any of those other casts, I mean, I've tried to check into those, but I always find myself drifting back to just the regular. You do too, Garrett? You always drift back to the regular broadcast. And I've tried the McAfee for Monday Night Football or Manning, I should say, for Monday Night Football. And I'll do that depending on the guest for maybe a second, but I always go back to the other broadcast. I guess it's the traditionalist in me, but 25.05 million viewers across the ESPN networks. Most watched title game since LSU Clemson in 2020, which had about 500,000 more viewers, but a big jump up from last year's Georgia TCU game, up 45%, as Georgia's blowout of the Frogs had a little over 17 million. So nearly 8 million more viewers for last night's championship game versus the year prior, which, given the brands involved, like, you knew TCU wasn't going to be able to carry the millions and millions of people being a smaller school like the brands that we had last night. But Michigan is a TV draw, fellas. The top three broadcasts of the entire college football season. Last night, though, was number 2. Their semifinal against Alabama, 27.76 million last week in the Rose Bowl. That was the highest rated game all year long. Last night's 25.05, the second highest ranked, and then their matchup with Ohio State, the third highest ranked, 19.07 million for that one.
They were around number 1 most of the year, unbeaten most of the year. You had this massive story.
No, they were unbeaten the entire year.
Right.
Yeah.
They had this massive story that followed them around everywhere that was just like took the grips and the throat of college football. They have a coach that's lightning rod.
Polarizing, yeah.
And by the way, they're damn good.
And they have one of the largest alumni bases on God's green earth.
As much as anything.
I mean, that's the thing. You know, when you look across, I remember looking across like social media and like seeing all like just the sports media people that went to Michigan, like Rich Eisen and Tracy Wolfson and Dave Portnoy. They have so many big time alum. Like, they have so many alums. So that's just 3 people I rattle off that are at the higher levels of our business that I happen to follow on social media. That doesn't even include guys who are dentists. You know, that's it. Like, they have
doesn't even include superfan Derek Jeter.
Yeah, exactly. Derek Jeter, Stephen A. Smith, Michael Jordan, all that booth.
That was quite the trio in that booth.
Yeah,
I was sitting there thinking, like, man, Stephen A. is just living it up right now. He's in between
that
Jordan
was a
and
power
Jeter.
play, man.
Oh, yeah, it
You
was.
talk about
for him,
flexing muscles.
I think the ESPN cameras were on the walkie-talkies like, he's in position, get the shot now. He's right there between Jordan and Jeter, their prize on ESPN. Yeah.
Part of me wonders if, like, he got his way in there and he forced his way to the front, and then Michael's like, okay, you can go now. But we don't need this guy in here telling our secrets. But
it did seem like the odd man out just in terms of athletic ability.
Yeah.
You know,
that was not the only big time athlete that was in that.
Oh no, there was a ton of other people in that booth. Yeah,
yeah.
No, but he had he has to have a picture of that from last night that's getting blown up as we speak.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when is he going to have a cameo like that? The middle of the national championship game, you got Jordan on one side, Jeter on the other, chopping it up with them. So, yeah, that
was the other guy whose name kept on being dropped in that mix?
Travis Scott.
Oh, yeah, Travis Scott, who's a hip-hop artist.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're not going to be too familiar with him. If you are, then that's crazy. that'd be
I was
real
getting ready to
sicko
rattle
mode.
off a couple of his songs, but that's okay.
I mean, if you did, I'd respect you more, I think, for being able to do that. But, yeah, so that was big numbers for the national championship game last night. Not a real surprise there, but Michigan does end with the 3 most watched games of the entire year. And to Paul's point as well, this is exactly why you see various accounts who get paid for views or hits, whatever. This is why they attack the big brands. They have the biggest fan bases and the biggest audiences and the most interactions. So when you see somebody just trolling Michigan, I mean, you're going to get a response because there's a billion of those folks. So yeah, it's part of teasing Texas fans or whatever people aim to do to get those.
It's like kicking your foot into a fire ant.
Yeah, Ohio State, so on and so forth. So anyways, there's a look at the ratings from last night, a very healthy number, and I think the CFP folks have to be pretty excited by all of that. Now, this came out yesterday, and I just wanted